afternoon, everyone. We've got to just go over a couple trades that we made today. Tesla long was one of our trades. I've actually got my day chart drawn out over here. So we were trading Tesla off of news. So anything that we trade is going to have news, above average volume, and then the day chart's got to be set up. So we were on a descending resistance break. And if you look at the chart, or look at my alerts, we were looking long for our setup, which I go over in a detailed video once you become a member in the quick start guide. Our setup long above 198.60. So we did get that setup long, and we were entering on a break. So you'll be able to quickly identify these breaks once you become a member, and where you should be able to get in and buy these stocks. But we were able to enter. Now I didn't catch all the move. We were able to enter on this third 5-minute bar, and we were kind of sell them on the way up to the 202 move. Now, I didn't obviously get everything that I wanted out of this, all right, but I got a couple points on half of my position. So we didn't get everything that we wanted on this position right here, on this trade necessarily, but we were able to get a lot, enough to where the risk reward made sense. Now obviously this kept running, and that's a choice that you have to make as a trader, is do you want to keep half with a break even stop, or do you want to go ahead and take the safe money? And right now with the way things are trading, I took the safe money on this. Another one that we traded today was SNDK. Now again, the day chart has to be set up, so there's different kind of setups. You've got descending resistance breaks. You've got this right here, which is an oversold protective theory pattern, which we teach in the Trade Like Me course. And this had basically room to 69.50. So SNDK, we were buying on this 5-minute bar right here. This 5-minute bar right here, buying, right? I'm sorry. We were buying on this 5-minute bar, this high near the high day. So we're buying on this 5-minute bar. Sold initially because we were trading around 67. Sold half on the pop, adjusted our stop to break even, and then sold the rest up here. Now I thought it was going to keep going to 68, but because we were getting so close to lunch, I went ahead and sold. And that was that just happened to be luck. So we were getting out near the high on this, basically out of luck, and we were selling right up in here. So that was just a lucky call. You know, I thought it was going to go to 68. Now, I wouldn't have got stopped out, but we did get the most out of it. And I typically will sell going into lunch. That's a pretty good reversal hour. So both of these, we had the SanDisk note in the market, in our pre-market notes. I didn't go over it in the commentary. I did go over Tesla in the commentary. That was one of my favorite setups, and that was one of the ones that we made money on. The other two that we were watching was Southwest Airlines short, and that one never gave us our setup, so we removed that shortly after the bell. And we were also watching Lumber Liquidators long, but that never got to the level that we were looking for. And that's the key, is that you want to find stocks that have news out, and then you want to have plenty of stocks on the radar to watch that have news out. And you just need one out of, let's say if you have 7 or 8, you just need one to do what you think it's going to do. And if it's doing what you think it's going to do, it gets above a certain level. So if, for example, Tesla, when Tesla gets above 198.60, so I'm going to mark that right here. So didn't open there, but it got above there. All right, so when it gets above 198.60, I know I see my setup coming, then I'm going to get long. As long as it's above that level. So these are kind of the line in the sand levels where the stock has a lot of room to run. So we don't want to get long stocks unless they have a lot of room before the next resistance level. Now 198.60 only took us to about 203. I believe on we had a little bit of moving average resistance around, that was 201.50, 201.80 on the 50-day. But again, I wasn't too concerned about that. This moving average setup was not what I call a perfect ribbon setup. So if it would have been down and it would have been a nice ribbon setup to the downside, which I don't have time to get into, I would have avoided it. However, because of the break, the descending resistance break, how much room it had from level to level on the day chart, it seemed like a good play to me to 202, which is where we took it to. Now, I wouldn't have had the confidence to hold it too much further than that, even though I know on descending resistance breaks, just from experience, that they do have a tendency to make nice runs and close at or near the highs. So I do know that, and there are times that I will hold, but because of the resistance that you can kind of see on the chart right here around 204, 205, that, it was just safer to get out in my opinion, right? So 198.60 was a level. The trade ended up working well. It was a good gainer. Another play that I took today, which was Cree. So we had a news out on Cree, CREE, that they were in talks for a strategic partnership or acquisition, and the talk was around $50. So we got the news early. The stock was down. I typically will wait for my setup even on this, but in this particular instance, I did not, just based on the volume and looking at the level twos, and it was just a quick scalp. It was a buy when the news came out, and just kind of selling on the way up right here. Now, obviously, I didn't get all of it. And this day chart, so the day charts have to be set up on everything, and if you get something with news like this, even though the day chart's not set up for a breakout, the day chart was set up for a gap fill, right? So the stock had gapped down and opened down and it had good news out, so you could have had a back of your mind target of 34, which is what we kind of told the room that it could run to. Now, I didn't get out at 34. I was selling 33.80s, 33.70s, but still, this thing had room to run to 34, and that's the key. So it had some room to run. It had good news out. BRCM, that was one I was pretty much a scratch trade. This had some news out, and I was trying to buy. There was a 5-minute setup here, and again, I got out of this one. I made a little average down a little bit on it on a pullback. Didn't hit my stop. I was long verse 43. Got a little rally up, and then just kind of sold half at even, and sold the rest just below even. I got out of a little bit with like a 4 or 5 cent gain, so that's where the difference in profit came from. 4 or 5 cent gain from my average. But anyway, these setups work. They're very, very easy. Anybody can use them on our watch list that we give you. We have very, very good watch list. Friday watch list was good. The watch list is typically always good. You just got to have enough eyes on the stock, so work as a team and find the setups. Very, very simple 5-minute play. As soon as you sign up, you have access to that training video, and it'll be enough to get you started at least to where you can follow along. Hopefully we'll see everybody in chat tomorrow. Everybody have a good evening.